Picture this. I'm standing in my kitchen, the faint hum of the refrigerator filling the silence, and I'm staring at a half-empty mug of chamomile tea that's gone cold in my hands. There's something about the way the steam no longer rises, the way the liquid just sits there, that feels like a mirror to my life. My name's Emily. I'm 42, and for the better part of 2 decades, I've built a world that's as steady as the ticking of the old clock on our mantel. I've been married to Jason for 15 years, a man who, at 45, embodies quiet strength. He's an accountant, the kind of guy who finds comfort in numbers and balance sheets, always making sure our life adds up just right. Me, I'm a part-time librarian, surrounded by the hush of books and the order of catalogued shelves, a job that fits me like a well-worn sweater. We live in a modest suburban home just beyond the edge of a sleepy town, where the biggest excitement is the neighbor's dog barking at the mailman. Our days are a predictable rhythm: work, dinner at 6 sharp, maybe a movie on the couch if we're feeling wild. It's not glamorous, but I've never craved spotlights or chaos. This life, this calm, it's enough. Or at least, I've always told myself it is. Jason and we've got a kind of love that doesn't shout. It's in the small things, the everyday gestures that stitch us together. Every morning, before he heads to the office, he kisses me on the forehead, a soft, lingering touch that feels like a promise he'll be back. Over coffee, our conversations are as familiar as the chipped mugs we use. He'll ask about the library, if any kids came in for story hour, and I'll ask about his latest audit, even though I barely understand the details. He'll smile, a little tired around the eyes, and say something like, "Just another day keeping the numbers in line." I'll nod, sip my coffee, and we'll sit in that comfortable quiet, the kind that doesn't need filling. He's always been attentive, always caring, never one for grand gestures or spontaneity. Jason's not the type to whisk me off on some whirlwind adventure, and I've never pushed for it. We're two people who found a groove, a safe little dance of routine, and I've loved him for that steadiness. But lately, something's off. I can't quite put my finger on it, like a book misplaced on a shelf you swear you organized. Over the past few weeks, Jason's been different. Not in big, obvious ways, but in the tiny cracks that only someone who studied him for 15 years would notice. He started stepping out of the room when his phone buzzes, murmuring excuses about work calls, even though I know his office doesn't ring him after hours. His eyes dart away when I catch him looking at me sometimes, like he's holding something back, a secret tucked behind that familiar smile. I've tried to brush it off, telling myself I'm imagining things, but the feeling lingers, a quiet unease that's been growing. And then, last night, after dinner, everything shifted in a way I couldn't ignore. We'd just finished eating, the plates still on the table, the scent of roasted chicken hanging in the air. I was about to get up and start clearing when Jason reached across, his hand gently catching mine. "Emily, sit for a minute," he said, his voice low, serious, but with this strange undercurrent of excitement that made my stomach twist. I sat back down, my brow furrowing as I studied his face. His hazel eyes were bright, almost too bright, like he'd been waiting for this moment. "I want to test your courage," he said, the words landing like a stone in still water, rippling through the quiet of our dining room. I blinked, caught off guard, a nervous laugh escaping me. "Test my courage? What are you talking about, Jason?" I asked, leaning forward, searching for some hint of a joke in his expression. But he wasn't laughing. His gaze held mine, steady and intense, and that flicker of intrigue sparked in me, mingling with confusion. What could he possibly mean? I pressed him, my voice a little sharper now. "Come on, spill it. What's this about?" He leaned back in his chair, folding his arms, that reassuring smile of his creeping in, though it didn't quite reach his eyes. "I need you to do something for me, Em. It's simple, really, but it's outside your usual. I need you to take a set of documents to a place on the outskirts of town tomorrow evening. That's it. My mouth opened, then closed again as I processed his request. Documents? To where? And why can't you do it yourself? I asked, my tone laced with skepticism. I mean, Jason's the one who handles everything outside our little bubble. Errands, bills, all the practical stuff. Why me? Why now? He waved a hand dismissively, his smile widening just a bit. It's just a quick errand, nothing to worry about. I'll be waiting for you there. I need you to step up for this. Trust me. His words hung between us, and I felt this tug in my chest, a mix of doubt and that unshakable trust I've always had in him. I wanted to ask more, to dig deeper, but something in his expression told me he wasn't going to give me anything else right then. He slid an envelope across the table, plain and unassuming, but heavy with whatever was inside. Just bring this to the old warehouse off Route 17. You know the one, he added, and my mind immediately conjured up the image of that place. I've never been inside, but I've driven past it countless times. A crumbling relic of a building, all rusted metal and broken windows, sitting alone like a forgotten memory on the edge of town. My grip tightened on the envelope as I stepped into the unknown, the weight of it feeling heavier than it should. Now, here I am, standing just outside that very warehouse, the evening air cool against my skin, a mix of nerves and curiosity churning in my gut. The sky above is a deep indigo, the last traces of daylight long gone, and the only sound is the faint rustle of leaves skittering across the cracked pavement. I take a deep breath, steadying myself, and push open the heavy door, the creak of its hinges slicing through the silence like a scream. The door slams shut behind me with a dull thud, and I'm swallowed by darkness. The air inside is thick, heavy with the scent of dust and decay, like the place hasn't been touched in decades. Faint slivers of moonlight sneak through cracks in the walls, casting jagged lines of pale light across the floor, but it's barely enough to see by. My eyes strain to adjust as I clutch the envelope tighter, my other hand instinctively reaching out to feel my way forward. Jason? I call out, my voice bouncing off the empty space, echoing back at me in a hollow, mocking tone. There's no answer, just the eerie stillness pressing in around me. My heart starts to pick up, a steady thrum in my chest, as I take a cautious step forward. Something crunches under my shoe, glass maybe, or bits of debris I can't see. And the sound feels too loud, too sharp in this suffocating quiet. Every instinct I have is screaming at me to turn back, to get out of here, but I can't. Not yet. Jason said he'd be waiting, and I've come this far. I need to know what this is all about. Another step, then another, my breath shallow as I scan the shadows. The warehouse feels endless, a cavern of secrets hiding in the dark. My skin prickles with unease, the kind that makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up, and I can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched. I open my mouth to call for Jason again, but the word dies in my throat as a figure emerges from the shadows ahead. Tall, broad-shouldered, with sharp features that catch the faint moonlight, he steps into view, his eyes glinting like polished glass. I freeze, my breath catching, my body rooted to the spot as he moves closer without a word. There's something predatory in the way he walks, deliberate and unhurried, and I can't tell if I should run or stand my ground. My mind races. Who is he? Where's Jason? But before I can form a coherent thought, he's right in front of me, close enough that I can feel the heat radiating off him. His hand reaches out and I flinch, expecting, I don't know what. But instead of anything violent, his fingers brush against my neck, light as a whisper, gliding upward in a slow, deliberate motion that sends a shiver down my spine. My pulse hammers under his touch, and I'm caught in this storm of conflicting emotions. Fear, raw and sharp, telling me to pull away. Shock, because I don't even know this man. And something else. Something I can't name. A forbidden stirring deep inside me that I don't want to acknowledge. It's wrong, it's insane, but there's a heat in his gaze, a pull I can't explain, and for a moment, I'm lost in it. My lips part, but no sound comes out. I'm trapped between wanting to scream and wanting to lean into whatever this is. Before I can make sense of it, two more figures step out from the darkness behind him, their silhouettes looming as they close in. One's older, with a rugged beard and a hard set to his jaw, his eyes scanning me like I'm something to be figured out. The other's younger, maybe in his late 20s, with a sly grin that curves his mouth, a glint of mischief in his stare that makes my stomach twist in a way I can't quite define. I'm surrounded now, the air in the warehouse growing heavier, pressing against my chest as my breath comes in short, ragged gasps. My mind is a storm, thoughts crashing into each other with no clear direction. I should run. I should scream for Jason, but my feet are cemented to the cold concrete floor beneath me, its chill seeping through the soles of my shoes, grounding me in this surreal moment. The first man, the one with the sharp features, steps even closer, his rough hand grazing my arm now, the texture of his calloused skin sending an electric jolt through me. It's invasive, it's wrong, but there's a part of me, a part I've buried under years of routine and loyalty, that's waking up, stirring with a hunger I don't recognize. The older man moves in from my left, his presence heavy, his breath hot against my ear as he murmurs something I can't quite catch, his voice low and gravelly. The younger one circles to my right, his grin widening as his fingers brush the hem of my jacket, a touch so light it's almost teasing, yet it burns through me like wildfire. Their movements are eerily synchronized, like they've done this dance before, like they know exactly how to unravel someone piece by piece. My senses are overwhelmed, the smell of stale air mixing with the faint musk of their proximity, the sound of my own uneven breathing echoing in my ears, the way their touches linger just long enough to blur the line between repulsion and fascination. I'm caught in a web, each thread pulling me deeper into something I can't control, something I'm not sure I want to escape. My eyes dart to the side, searching for Jason in the dim light. He's there, sitting on a rusted metal chair in the corner of the warehouse, half shrouded in shadow. His posture is relaxed, almost too casual, one leg crossed over the other as he taps something on his phone, the faint glow of the screen illuminating his face for a fleeting second. He looks detached, like he's watching a movie unfold rather than witnessing his wife in the middle of this forbidden chaos. His expression is a mask, unreadable, not a flicker of emotion crossing his features. Does he feel nothing? Is this what he wanted? My heart twists with a sharp pang of guilt, the weight of my marriage, of the vows I've held sacred for 15 years, crashing down on me. I've betrayed him, betrayed us, even if he's the one who led me here. But beneath that guilt, there's something else, something darker, a thrill that pulses through my veins, making my skin flush and my breath hitch. I hate myself for it, but I can't deny it. And somehow, knowing Jason is watching, knowing his eyes are on me even if I can't see them clearly, it fuels me. It's like I'm performing for him, like every shiver, every gasp, is a silent offering to whatever game he's playing. The men around me don't speak much, their actions louder than words. The first man's grip tightens on my arm, not painful but firm, guiding me with an authority that makes my knees weak. The older one's hand finds the small of my back, a possessive touch that sends a shiver racing up my spine. The younger one lets out a low chuckle, his fingers tracing patterns on my shoulder, playful yet predatory. I'm drowning in sensation, my mind screaming at me to pull away while my body betrays me, leaning into their touches as if I've been starved for this kind of intensity. What is wrong with me? How did I get here, in this crumbling warehouse, surrounded by strangers, feeling things I've never allowed myself to feel? The guilt gnaws at me, but it's drowned out by the rush, the raw, electric energy of the moment. I'm torn in two, one half the quiet librarian who shelves books and kisses her husband goodnight, the other a stranger to myself, craving the edge of this dangerous unknown. As the encounter builds to its peak, something shifts inside me. It's not just the physical, the way their hands map my skin, but the way my entire world feels like it's been flipped upside down, leaving me grasping for something solid to hold on to. My heart is a wild drum in my chest, each beat echoing in my ears as the intensity of the moment starts to ebb, the men stepping back, just enough to give me space to breathe. Their presence still looms, heavy and expectant, but it's Jason's gaze that pulls me back to reality. I can feel it, even in the dim light, cutting through the haze of adrenaline and confusion. He's no longer on his phone. He's standing now, stepping out of the shadows with a slow, measured stride that makes my stomach tighten. His face is still unreadable, but there's a weight to his movements, a purpose that sends a fresh wave of unease through me. What does he want from me now? What was all of this for? He stops just a few feet away, his hazel eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that makes me feel exposed, like he can see every conflicting thought racing through my mind. The silence stretches, thick and suffocating, until he finally speaks, his voice low, almost tender, a stark contrast to the chaos that just unfolded. "You did well, Emily. Next time there'll be more people." His words hit me like a punch, stealing the air from my lungs. I stand there, frozen, as a shock ripples through me, sharp and cold, spreading from my core to the tips of my fingers. Next time? More people? The implication sinks in, heavy and dark, unraveling everything I thought I understood about tonight. This wasn't just a one-off, some twisted test of courage. This is part of something bigger, something planned, something I'm only just beginning to glimpse. My mind races, questions tumbling over each other in a frantic rush. How long has he been orchestrating this? Who are these men, really? Are they just pawns in his game, or do they know more than I do? And why? Why does he want this for me? For us? My body still hums with the aftershocks of adrenaline, every nerve ending alight with the memory of what just happened. Part of me recoils at the thought of doing this again, of stepping back into this dangerous, uncharted territory where I don't recognize myself. That part of me wants to scream, to demand answers, to run back to the safety of our quiet suburban life where the biggest risk is burning dinner. But there's another part, smaller, but undeniable, that's drawn to it. The danger, the excitement, the raw, untamed energy that coursed through me moments ago. It's like a drug, whispering promises of more, tempting me to chase that high, even as my better judgment begs me to turn away. I hate that it's there, that dark curiosity, but I can't ignore it. It's like a crack in the foundation of who I thought I was, and I don't know how to seal it shut. Jason steps closer, his hand reaching out, and I flinch slightly as his fingers brush a strand of hair from my face. The gesture is gentle, almost intimate, but it feels loaded, like there's a question in it, a test I'm not sure I'm ready to answer. My skin prickles under his touch, torn between the familiarity of his presence and the uncertainty of who he is to me now. Is this still the man who kisses me goodbye every morning, who balances our checkbook with meticulous care? Or is this someone else entirely? Someone who's been hiding behind that steady facade all along? I search his eyes for a hint, for anything that might ground me, but all I see is a quiet intensity, a patience that tells me he's not going to push. Not yet. Instead, he bends down, picking up the envelope of documents from the ground where it must have fallen in the chaos. He tucks it under his arm as if it were never important, as if the contents don't matter at all compared to what just transpired. The casualness of the action unnerves me, making me wonder if the errand was ever the point, or if it was just a lure to get me here. The silence between us grows heavier as we leave the warehouse behind, the night air hitting my face like a slap, sharp and cold, pulling me out of the haze that's been clouding my mind. Jason walks ahead, his steps steady and sure, as if what just happened was nothing more than a casual errand, a box checked off his to-do list. I follow, my legs feeling like they're made of lead, each step heavier than the last. We climb into the car, the familiar scent of leather and faint pine air freshener grounding me for a fleeting moment, but it's not enough to quiet the storm inside me. Jason starts the engine, the low hum vibrating through the seats, and we pull away from that crumbling relic of a building without a word. The silence between us is deafening, thicker than the darkness outside, and I don't know how to break it. I don't even know if I want to. I turn my head, staring out the passenger window as the world blurs past. The streetlights flash by in rhythmic streaks of amber, their glow smearing into long, hazy lines against the glass. It's hypnotic, almost numbing, but my mind refuses to settle. Instead, it replays every second of what happened in that warehouse, frame by frame, like a movie I can't pause. The way those strangers moved, their touches both invasive and electric, the weight of Jason's gaze from the shadows, it all loops in my head, relentless and vivid. I can still feel the ghost of their hands on my skin, the heat of their breath, the way my body responded despite every shred of logic screaming at me to stop. Shame creeps in, hot and heavy, settling in my chest like a stone. How could I let myself go there? How could I betray everything I've built with Jason, even if he was the one who set this in motion? But alongside that shame, there's something else, a rush, a wild exhilaration that I can't shake, no matter how much I try to bury it. It's like I've tasted something forbidden, and now I'm not sure I can go back to the bland, safe flavor of my old life. My marriage, the foundation I've clung to for 15 years, feels like it's shifted beneath me in the span of a single night. I steal a glance at Jason, his profile illuminated by the passing lights, his hands steady on the wheel. He looks so normal, so unchanged, as if he didn't just watch his wife cross a line she never imagined crossing. Does he feel anything about this? Is he wrestling with the same guilt, the same confusion? Or is this all just part of some calculated plan I don't yet understand? I want to ask, to demand answers, but the words stick in my throat, tangled up with exhaustion and a fear of what I might hear. My fingers curl into my palms, nails digging into skin, as I try to anchor myself in the moment, to make sense of who we are now. We pull into our driveway, the gravel crunching under the tires, a sound so familiar it almost hurts. Jason cuts the engine, and for a moment we just sit there, the quiet stretching taut between us. Then he turns to me, his voice breaking the silence with a casualness that makes my skin crawl. "I'm proud of you, Em. You stepped way out of your comfort zone tonight." His tone is light, almost conversational, like we're discussing a successful dinner party instead of whatever that was. I stare at him, my mouth dry, searching for a crack in his calm facade. But there's nothing, just that steady, unreadable expression I've seen 1,000 times. He tilts his head slightly, a small smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "This is just the beginning, you know. We're going to keep exploring who we really are." His words hang in the air, heavy with implication, and I feel my stomach twist, a mix of dread and that damn curiosity stirring again. My mind races, 1,000 questions clawing at me. What does he mean by exploring? Why did he push me into this? And what was he recording on his phone back there in the shadows? I want to confront him, to demand answers, but as I turn to face him, the glint of understanding in his eyes tells me that this journey is only just beginning. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.